All right, and then we're gonna go, there we go. Can you see a PDF that says Cybercrime Underground? I am going to play.
Is Rodrigo, and today we will comment a little about the forums and marketplaces on the Onion Network. First of all, I need to apologize for the narration. My English is not fluent and I still don't have a good quality microphone for the presentation. I hope the reading was clear. Any questions? Although all of you certainly have more experience in the field than I do, don't hesitate to send me a message. We can start. Cybercrime Underground. A look from inside. Darknet. You've certainly heard this name a few times. Many of you are involved in the InfoSec community. Whenever a large-scale attack happens, or when some TV show or channel needs content to generate engagement, there goes the old story. Hackers leak information. Criminals sell drugs on the deep web. The image created from this huge part of the internet resembles an evil lair full of villains planning the destruction of humanity. Indeed, there are a lot of shadows in this terrain, but most of the dark net is more ordinary than you might think. In this article, we will try to know a little more about these hidden places and the customs of their inhabitants. Let's see what really happens through forums and marketplaces, in addition to the commonly publicized media content. For convenience, we will not cover guns and drug sales. In fact, they do exist, but those who think that this is the largest portion traded in these obscure networks are mistaken. Let's imagine a common user criminal. What environments does he/she frequent? How does he/she carry out her transactions? A few months ago, I searched and frequented these environments to understand how they work. As I said, most of the so-called hacker forums, a term that reinforces the misuse of the word hacker, is absolutely normal and does not differ in any way from a common forum. Here I have filtered the general essence of what defines an environment frequented by cybercriminals. In fact, the infamous forums are quite common, and they're no different from the forums you use yourself. In the so-called hidden wikis, darknet links lists, you can find dozens of forums of the most varied types and focusing on different subjects. In the image, 2 examples of hidden wikis. Links have been blurred to avoid problems with streaming platforms. You know how trivial it is to find those addresses in a quick search. Most forums are free for any consultation. There are rare exceptions where, in order to view the content, you must have a registered account. But the most interesting point of the forums is the data leaks. Every day, users post links to leaked databases of companies, websites, government agencies, cracked software, whatever. The most curious and perhaps unknown fact is that leaks are almost always released for free. These forums use a credits system. Credits are received by a user for participating in the community, commenting and opening topics. When a user posts a link to a leak, he or she includes in the message structure a BBC tag that hides the content from other users. To reveal the message, readers must have a number of credits that will be transferred from their account to the account of the author of the message. Marketplaces work similarly to eBay, Amazon, Mercado Libre and the like. Users create their accounts, can browse the catalog of products and sellers. They make deposits on the platform to pay for their purchases in cryptocurrencies. However, each marketplace has specific local rules. For example, child pornography is prohibited on the vast majority of forums and platforms. Some marketplaces charge fees for each sale. Others only accept accredited sellers, who buy licenses from platform administrators to list their products. This model fends off smaller scammers who would not pay the fees to deceive users with spoofed sales. In addition to these protections, when a user makes a purchase, some platforms offer an extra service called escrow or middleman, a third guarantee. In this model, the user will send the payment to the person responsible for the escrow, usually an administrator or moderator of the marketplace. It will confirm payment to the seller, who will ship the product to the customer. This, in turn, confirms the receipt to the middleman, who will transfer the payment to the seller, minus a fee for the service that can be paid by the customer or divided by both parties. It's quite curious how criminals fight scammers in their ecosystem the same way we fight them in ours. About the products, you can find anything you can imagine. The most famous markets include weapons, drugs, fake documents, fake money, hacker services, and some specific types of leaks. However, the vast majority are stolen accounts, especially PayPal accounts or credit card information. In the 2 images below, you can see ads on different websites. Note how the prices are much lower than the balance or limit of the accounts. Criminals use stolen accounts not only to shop, but to launder money coming from other crimes. Nothing better for them than valid accounts in other people's names. Also, there is no trust among the thieves. A criminal among other criminals obviously cannot trust anyone. The entire structure of interaction between the parts in this underworld takes this into account. We've already talked about the forums that actually exist and how access to them can be restricted. But we haven't commented on one thing. Most of these forums use the MyBB framework or adaptations. MyBB is an open source forum system with an interesting feature. User profiles have a value called reputation. Users can increase or decrease another user's reputation based on their behavior on the platform. This mechanic is often used to flag scammers. So it's an excellent sign of the trust placed in a user by the community at large. We also talked about marketplaces and also left an important comment aside. Sometimes a criminal creates a marketplace and maintains it for a few months to gain users. At some point, he or she performs what is called an exit scam. That is, it completely closes the platform, disappearing with all deposits and purchased vendor licenses. When this happens, usually all other forums inform users of what happened. This is what can be seen in the image below, taken from the Dread forum. Trust is another reason why criminals use cryptocurrencies such as Monero. Cryptocurrencies are systems that require zero trust between two trading parties. Once an amount is sent, it is virtually impractical to forfeit the amount or cancel the transaction. A fun fact, lots of cybercriminals have abandoned Bitcoin due to the ease with which coins can be tracked. Monero is currently the default currency alongside physical money for most of the criminals. And this pattern repeats. There are a myriad of forums and marketplaces. We can talk about the individual characteristics of each for weeks on end. But the main aspects, the central elements, will always be identical or close to those shown here. In addition to them, there are less interesting but noteworthy features. 1. When browsing through a forum or marketplace, you come across armies of CAPTCHAs of all kinds. These platforms are at constant risk of DDoS attacks. They don't have anyone to turn to in situations like this, so their protections against automation are massive to the point of hampering normal users' browsing. 2. The darknet is not only populated by cybercriminal forums. There are free speech forums for restricted regions such as China, North Korea, and some countries in the Middle East. News sites. Even the CIA and Facebook have domains on the Onion network. And that ends with our tour today. I hope it was interesting, albeit short. This document will be available for download. At the end of it are some links where you can find me. It was specially written for Disinfosec 2021. I promise that I will be better prepared for next year. Thank you very much, and I see you in the wild.
All right.